Hi guys, I hope you're all having a nice Wednesday. And for those in the UK, I think the weather is pretty miserable, which is fair to say. I know where I'd rather be instead. Uh, for those that have been in the group a while and even who know me really well, I think an important part of a lead gen strategy on Facebook is to give away something of value for free to start sort of a conversation. I think it's very hard to try and get someone to transact with you on the sort of first point of contact. So what I always recommend is try and come up with a lead magnet which uh, will add value, will allow you to kind of get the initial contact details. So whether it's name, email, phone number, you can even ask a bit more information too. So especially in the financial services niche, you could ask sort of marital status, sort of date of birth, and some other sort of information that's relevant. And then also provide that lead magnet to deliver. Now, any lead magnet that you create should provide instant value or solve a problem. And it doesn't need to be a big problem; it can be a small problem. It's also a great way to showcase your authority. I mean, a good example is if you were selling life insurance, you could do a free guide or a webinar or cheat sheet or an infographic, which gives you the top sort of insurance providers in the UK for 2019. Just an example. As well, I mean, there's loads of different types of lead magnets too. Everything from sort of a free guide or PDF to free training to sort of podcasts, infographics, free consultation. You name it. There's endless really. There's those you can do, and I think depending on your target audience, I'm trying to figure out what format they like to digest content in. For me, I don't mind videos and guides, whereas I know a lot of people like podcasts, or just so they can listen to it while they're doing other things as well. Then what I want to do is go through how you can create a lead magnet really cheaply and quickly too, as well. And I'll show you ways that we've done it, even using existing content that you've already written for your website or blog post, or even a combination of posts as well. So I use a tool called Canva. So I'll just drop this in the comments here. It's quite a well-known sort of graphic design tool. It's free to use, but they also have sort of elements that you can purchase just to provide that additional sort of design touch too. So within here, they've got loads of templates, and as you can see, I've created various guides and banners as well. So there's a lot you can do. So if we're going to create a guide or an ebook, if you like, if you just go to hit create design, let's see if we can find a guide document. Let's try this one. Annual report. So when you click on a template, you'll come into the editor. And it again is really easy to use. They've got loads of sort of free templates to use with different page layouts. So if we just pick on, for argument's sake, as well, and what we could do is we could, let's say, let's call this financial advice tips for 2019. Then all you need, you can change colors as well. So really straightforward. You can add your logo, which is what I'll do now. So what is on that? Change to RTW Digital. And I will add our logo too. So when I can find it. There we go. And you can delete information accordingly. So once you've got the content, you can see that it's going to be really easy and quick to do. And then if you wanted to add more pages, simply hit add new page, and then you can start again. So we can have deadline. So we could say tip 1, and then paragraph. And then you can do this color. Now, a lot of people I speak to struggle with, I'm not really sure what I can put in the guide. Now, if you think about the typical questions someone may ask in your niche, providing a product or service, and you find that you are typically giving the same response, that sort of content is perfect to put in a guide as well. So you can simply lay page out by question. So how do I know which is the best financial broker to use? What should I check for? So you'll actually find that just by looking at the information you know, your experience, everything you give as advice to your sort of clients, that you can put that in content. It's also a great way to deliver this content over and over again so that people are actually warmed up before you even speak to them too. So if you are finding that whenever you kick off a new conversation with a new potential client, you explain who you are, what you do, the pros and cons of a product or service, you can actually put that in a lead magnet, give it to them, send it via email, and then give it a few days before you follow up with a call. Assuming they've read it, and there's always a question around there in terms of how much people actually read lead magnets, to be honest with you. Sometimes they just skim through it, so it's important to get your point across concisely. There's nothing wrong with longer lead magnets if they add value, and I think a lot of people will do that too. I think it's important to test and get feedback as well. Another good tip is if you've already got a blog is a great way you can turn to lead magnet as well. So a lot of sort of the marketing gurus out there, you'll see that they've got a blog post on the website, and they may be running a Facebook ad to a PDF version of this. But the difference here is that they're asking for an email address instead. So what they're doing is they're taking this content and repurposing it into the lead magnet. Now that could be a PDF guide, it could be a video, it could be a podcast, it could be a recorded message, it could be whatever. But so it's important to know that once you've created the single piece of content, I certainly recommend trying to repurpose that and distribute that across different platforms as well. So if you take this one, let's say I want to turn this into a guide. So the article's probably about a few hundred words. It's really simple, and it's a copy and paste job actually, as you can take this and that could be your title. You'll have to excuse me on my design skills. A lady in my team's normally all that is the creative one. And what you can then do is just break it up. So I'm just to demonstrate. And then what you can then do is just add some more content. So I'll just do this again. So you get the gist of it. And then if you go to sort of photos, they come with loads of sort of graphics and elements. So let's a free one here. So what I've done is basically I've taken a blog post which I know has worked really well received, and turn this into a PDF which I could then use as my lead generation campaigns as well. Once I'm kind of done with it, you can just download it. If you've used any sort of paid elements or graphics at this point, they'll ask you to put your credit card details and pay for it. And to be fair, there isn't a few. There's only like $1 an element. It's stupidly cheap. And I found by doing this, you can create a nice looking guide, a lead magnet which is on point with your brand, it's professional, and it can easily save you a few £100s or a few $100 as well. I mean, depending on for design, this will take you so far, but there's still nothing wrong with hiring a graphic designer if you really want a professional touch. But to be honest with you, people are more focused on the value that you can give than the output too. So once you've done hit download, Just give that a second or two. And as you can see here, you've got a nice looking PDF which you can create quickly. Now you've seen how quickly I've done that. And creating lead magnets is just incredibly quick and valuable tool that you'll use in all your campaigns as well. Now, once you have done this, what I typically do is I'll upload this to my website. I've got a WordPress-based website, and I'll basically take the hyperlink and then drop that into an email, which I'll send once someone's come through my lead generation campaign as well. So that was really a quick way to create lead magnets or a PDF lead magnet. For those watching, I'd be keen to get your questions or thoughts or anything around this as well. Now, if no one has any questions for those watching live, not to worry. For those on the recording, just feel free to add a question in the post below. If you need some help on sort of what types of lead magnets create as a content or anything related to that, just let me know. The only thing I'd say to you is when creating a lead magnet, ask yourself, will this genuinely add value to my target audience? Even get feedback from existing customers to see if it's helpful or not. But then just test different sort of combinations as well. That's it for today. Yeah, I'll speak to you soon.